breaking right now on Denver 7 News at 6 a.m. 10 suspicious fires this morning prompt a big response from Aurora firefighters.
Thankfully, no one was hurt, but 10 people are without a home this morning. I'm Christian Lopez, live with the search for the person of interest in this case.
Plus, victims left without closure and criminals given the chance to reoffend.
I think we need to figure out what it was that led to this backlog.
A leaked report shows the Aurora PD is behind on thousands of investigations. The question this morning, who's to blame?
The police department actually knew about this problem.
It's just another attempt to throw mud on Chief Wilson.
And go Avs go! The team officially secures its place in the playoffs. Yeah, the Avs already have more wins than their 1996 Stanley Cup winning team had, so hopefully that's a good omen this year. Thanks for joining us. I'm Brian Sanders.
And I'm Jessica Crawford. The winds are still whipping across the Front Range, but it won't be as bad as what we saw yesterday. Lisa, there are still some red flag warnings in effect.
Yeah, and it's weather like that where you learn in a hurry whether or not your house is sealed up properly or not. We have one little spot in the door where it was whistling all night long. That'll keep you up. Take a look at some of the gusts right now, anywhere from 30 to about 40-mile-per-hour wind speeds coming in out of the west and northwest. It's going to be another windy day today. Yesterday, though, we had gusts over 100 miles per hour. Today, those gusts will be a little bit closer to about 60 miles per hour. When you look at just how much cooler it is, once that front pushed through, those temperatures really started to drop. Now we're anywhere from 20 to about 25 degrees colder than the same time yesterday. So it's a chilly start. We're down to near freezing this morning. We're going to see windy, cool conditions through the afternoon. Upper 40s to low 50s between about 3 and 5 o'clock. We've got Denver at right around 50 today. Quite a bit cooler down over southeastern Colorado, so some of that cool air finally settling there. Yesterday we had 70s, today it's 50s. In the mountains, 20s and 30s. Now the mountains picked up some good snow yesterday. We'll see another couple of inches there today. Down here, dry but windy. I'll show you when things are going to calm down, and we've got that Rockies home opener forecast coming up.
It will be busy around Coors Field on Friday. Right now we have some good driving conditions around most of Metro Denver. It's over to the west side of town on C470 by Morrison, and the camera's not bouncing around too much, but the winds are still going to be a factor for you folks that even are driving a little car. I was blowing around a little bit at times there across some of the freeways. Take a look at the drive that we have from Air Tracker 7 over to the east side of town. So what you're looking at here, this would be Quebec. There's the Quebec Bridge right over 270. So the headlights here are the eastbounders on 270 about to join I-70. That's the westbound side heading up to Vasquez, and this is I-70 down here, and it looks just fine over there by Quebec. So a nice easy drive over for the east side of town. Not seeing any delays for us up to the north side just yet, but we're just about to see a lot more traffic volume on all of the freeways here in just a minute. Some of the side roads are loading up a little bit, but overall it's still quiet with no major problems just yet.
Let's get back to that breaking news from overnight. Aurora fire crews acted fast, putting out as many as 10 suspicious fires in one neighborhood.
Yeah, it's possible these were intentionally set, one right after the other, too. Denver 7's Christian Lopez joins us live near Iliff and Peoria this morning, where 10 people were forced out of their homes, and officials say they are now looking for a person of interest.
Yeah, that's what firefighters told us this morning, but so far we haven't heard of any arrests made, but at least 10 people were displaced when that fire happened. It happened in this apartment building that we are standing next to. We are just not allowed to be in there right now, but Aurora Police tells us that there were around 10 fires that were set overnight, and these were set in places like bushes that were next to apartment buildings. They were set in fields, but the most destructive one was the one that was set in this apartment building, and it left around a dozen people and their pets without a home this morning. And we did talk to one of those families, and Laura Flores told us that she was the one who alerted her 6 family members that there was a fire going on.
So I wake up like everybody to get up now. I grab my dog and all my family, and I just scream like, fire, get out.
A very terrifying morning for Laura and her family, but she did tell us that the apartment manager did give them a key to a vacant apartment, and that's where they're staying right now, but they lost pretty much everything. They only had a couple of bags of clothing, but she did tell me that she's thankful that her family is safe. We're live in Aurora. I'm Christian Lopez, Denver 7.
Yeah, still so dangerous, especially with our weather conditions. So we will continue to follow this story as it develops on air on our website, thedenverchannel.com, and on our free Denver 7 Plus app.
We're headed into more high fire danger across the state with high winds and red flag warnings. Yesterday, firefighters acted fast to put out this small fire in Boulder County before it reached surrounding homes. But in a major disaster like the Marshall Fire, they might not be able to respond everywhere at once. That's where a new kind of service from insurance companies comes in. Denver 7's Veronica Acosta is looking into these contracted wildfire defense teams.
When there's a wildfire, really protecting yourself and protecting your home, it's probably top of mind, right? But waiting until those evacuation or even those pre-evacuation notices go out, it might be too late by that point. And that's really where these emergency response teams come into play. So the specific one that we're talking about this morning is this team that claims to be able to come out to your home when there's a wildfire rather, nearby, and help clean up maybe even the landscaping around the home, get rid of any shrubs, create defensible space, even get rid of flammable furniture that might be too close to, let's say, a door. Some insurance companies have rolled this service out at no additional cost to homeowners, partnering with these kind of companies. We spoke with an insurance agent who told us she has heard of these kind of services, and while they may be great options, she says her agents recommend this. Current fire conditions should prompt any homeowner to call their agent and check on coverage because of environmental factors and, of course, those increasing home costs that we keep hearing so much about.
It really is a wake-up call that people need to be talking to their insurance professionals about how am I financially prepared for wildfire? What are my limits on my policy? How much am I insured for? What are my deductibles? And then how does my coverage work? I'm covered for wildfire risk.
Walker says making sure that you call your insurance agent when you make an upgrade to your home or even buy something that's expensive and is going to be inside of the home is something that every homeowner should be doing constantly. We're in Boulder County this morning. I'm Veronica Acosta, Denver 7.
And you can see the fire danger out there with the wind blowing this morning. Thank you, Veronica. New trouble for the Aurora Police Department now. A report obtained by Denver 7 shows a long and serious backlog of investigations.
An independent consulting firm found more than 2,500 crime reports were never investigated. That includes cases of child sex abuse, murder, and carjackings. The report says the backlog enabled suspects to reoffend when they might have otherwise been in jail. The chair of Aurora's Public Safety Committee is calling for accountability.
For me, this is just another example of the systemic failure of the leadership in our police department.
We spoke with the attorney for Police Chief Vanessa Wilson, who says her client isn't to blame. She instead pointed the finger at city leaders.
Chief Wilson, among others, has been asking for those issues to be addressed. It does not lie at Chief Wilson's feet. And if the city council had been doing their job, they would have been aware of this problem long before they leaked the report.
This all comes amid efforts to oust Aurora Police Chief Vanessa Wilson. Multiple sources told Denver 7 investigates Wilson's on her way out, but is still negotiating her exit through an attorney.
Meanwhile, Aurora City Manager Jim Twombly says the report is very alarming to him as well. In a statement, he says, in part, quote, the issues it identified are patently unacceptable. While the consultant discusses them in terms of liability, I see them as a risk and danger to our officers and the community. Twombly says they've already made some changes in response to the report. There's now a police lieutenant with prior records management experience overseeing the records office. All remote work has been shifted back to in person, and the records office will close to the public on Wednesdays now to focus specifically on the investigation backlog. Police officers who are assigned to light duty will be trained on the transcription process and temporarily fill in for the records office. You can find our full reporting on both the latest audit as well as the future of Police Chief Vanessa Wilson's job right now on thedenverchannel.com.
The Avalanche are heading to the playoffs after beating the Pittsburgh Penguins 6-4.
Yeah, big win. Nate McKinnon had 2 goals in the game, and the Avs became the first NHL team to have 50 wins this season.
I really like what I'm seeing. I feel like we're still like improving at this point in the year, and that's what we want to do. Right to the bitter end, we're gonna keep working on our game, and I think our guys are bought into that. And they're doing that.
Yeah, cross your fingers everyone stays healthy for the final stretch here. The Avs are back on the road Friday night against the Winnipeg Jets. Lisa.
It is going to be fun to watch. Right now we're looking at wind speeds anywhere from 20 to about 40 miles per hour. Coming up here in a few minutes, I'm going to take you through our futurecast. We're down to near freezing this morning. We're going to see cold, blustery conditions this afternoon. Wear a jacket. It's just not going to warm up that much. We'll be in the mid 40s by about 1 o'clock. It's going to feel, though, Jason, by that point, like 30s.
Looking at a pretty good drive across downtown. You can see that from Air Tracker 7 right over Mile High Stadium. Air was right behind us there, and this is the southbound side of I-25 here, 6th Avenue. Here's Alameda and Santa Fe as they're zooming in right now. So there's northbound Santa Fe going to northbound 25 and the Alameda Bridge. So a good drive across central Denver. We'll take a look at the south side of town for you coming up in just a bit.
When will we finally see gas prices come down? This morning we're diving into all the factors before top oil execs get drilled by lawmakers.
Plus, this will have you dreaming of vacation. DIA wants to expand flights to a new continent.